We should start session. Very good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Rahalya. I'm working as a managed fellow. I'm honored to be with you today. I'm happy to welcome you to our 254 consecutive weekly webinars hosted by Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. So before going to start our session today, I would like to give short introduction about our center. So since its inception in October 2020, the Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship Saturday webinar series has grown into a nationally recognized platform for innovation and entrepreneurship in agriculture. With a single break, we have curated and delivered 253 knowledge-rich sessions, reaching over more than 50,000 participants across the country, all guided, mentored, and inspired by more than 500 expert speakers. The journey is more than a statistics, it's a movement that began as a humble effort to support emerging agripreneurs. As a center of excellence in agribusiness incubation, operating under the esteemed National Institute of Agriculture Extension, Mahendra stands as a pillar in the agriculture innovation landscape. And the achievements we have made together speak volumes. 1,066 entrepreneurs mentored and supported, 529 startups nurtured across diverse agri value chains, seamless facilitation of funding, market access, and technological linkage. But beyond the number lies the real success, our people, our vision, our impact. At Manasia, we believe entrepreneurship is not just about launching a business, it's about launching a vision that uplifts farmers, revitalize rural economies, and promote sustainable practices. Today, our topic for discussion is ways to wealth in agriculture, empowering agri-startups with circular economy solutions. To discuss this topic, we are joined by a panel of speakers whose experience and expertise will illuminate the opportunities and pathways offered to the entrepreneurs. Thank you for being with us today, and let's look forward to an engaging and inspiring session ahead. To introduce our speaker for the today's session, I would like to call Akansha Joshi to introduce our first speaker today's session.
Thank you so much. Dr. Bahelia. Good morning, everyone. This is Akanksha Joshi, Managed Intern. I am honored to introduce our first speaker of the session, Mr. Sumit Popli, who has with over 20-year experience in leading landmark construction and green certified building projects across Asia Pacific. Mr. Sumit has witnessed firsthand how to build environment resource intensity, drive deforestation, pollution, and carbon emission. His company BioCode worked towards sustainable construction to tackle the urgent need in an ever-expanding construction sector. He founded Sustainability Venture. Their primary product, BioCode, is a next generation of engineered wood made of using agriculture waste, such as paddy and wheat straw. Their products are engineered to offer superior alternatives to conventional engineered wood like plywood, MFD, etc., both functionally and environmentally. During his corporate sector, Mr. Sumit had held senior leadership roles at various well-known names such as JLL, CBRE, and Motoman, amongst others. With this brief introduction, once again we welcome Mr. Sumit to the session. We look forward for your insight. Now I invite you to begin your talks.
Hello. Sir, kindly unmute yourselves.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting me for this webinar. My name is Sumit. I'm the founder of Sustainability Ventures, and I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences in building a startup in this space of waste to wealth using agricultural waste. Can I start my presentation now?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Let me know when everyone can see my screen.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
It's visible. Okay, let me just put it on the slideshow. I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My company's name is Sustainability Ventures, and we run by the brand called Biome Build. The three core elements of our company or values of our company are circular, sustainable, and responsible. We will go into all details of what we do and how we do in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But our primary purpose is to turn agricultural waste into high performance materials. We use it by using hybrid clean energy, and obviously this is built to scale rural impact in our highly agricultural based economy. Let me move forward. I've already introduced myself. My name is Sumit. I'm the founder and CEO of the company. My email address is there for if anybody wants to contact me after this presentation. Well, I want to start with the largest problem that we have. We are one of the largest economies, agricultural economies in the world. And while we do that, we also burn enough agricultural waste in the country. This is the straw which is generated from our perennial cereal crops. This is enough agricultural waste that is getting burned, which is equivalent to the annual emissions from all the vehicles in all the big six cities of the country. So the scale, I want you guys to just appreciate the scale of how much agricultural waste is there. This is also equivalent to the emissions that come out of 300 coal-fired power plants. That is all the power emissions from all the power plants that is there in India. And there is and more. India has about 270 coal-fired power plants across the country. We can shut down all the coal-fired power plants, and that is the level of emissions that come out of burning agricultural waste in India. When now for specifically for our sector, the product that we make, there is enough agricultural waste in our country available to replace all the wooden demand in the world. Now, when I say all wood demand, we're talking of all plywood. Look at wherever you're sitting, whether in an office or your home, you will notice the door from in the room that we are sitting on to the table that you're sitting at, to the bookshelf, to the TV unit or the crockery unit or your kitchen cabinets or your wardrobes. Everything is made with a plywood or an engineered wood product, and it is there in every single home across the world, in every single urban center, any semi-urban or tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. Every home has engineered wood in some form or the other across the world, and there is enough agricultural waste in the country to fulfill the demand for all of this entire market. Uh, so when we started building Biome, we were looking at multiple challenges to be addressed with a single product. We have a very high rising timber demand in the country. The rising timber demand because of urbanization, because of rapid urbanization, and our transition of cities from being tier 4 to tier 3 and tier 3 to tier 2 and tier 2 to tier 1. And at the same time, India has a big problem that we don't have enough agroforestry resources. We don't cut down old forests, so which in turn means that we have to import timber from around the world. And more than 50% of our timber requirements in the country come from imports from every country which has a timber resource. Along with that, of course, we have a problem of crop waste, which is getting burnt, which is not utilized, which doesn't create any economic value for the farmer. And that also then reflects into the incomes that the farmers also have. And that's why we have the highly marginalized farmers with smaller farms and very poor incomes for the households. What we've done is we have innovated a product which is called Biome Board. This is our own product segment. We've trademarked this name. We've brought the product to market. It is a board similar to plywood, which is which is free of trees. So plywood is also made from tree. MDF is also made from trees, and particle board is also made from tree resources. It's a biomass which comes from cutting down a tree and chopping it and making it into smaller sizes so that it can be made into flat products. We've made a similar product or a competing product in the same market, which serves the exact same purpose. We can make everything that plywood can make with this product. It is free of trees. First of all, it is free of formaldehyde. Everything that we see in engineered wood product market is made with a chemical called formaldehyde, which is highly carcinogenic. It is a grade 1 carcinogen and a banned substance in most of the Western countries. Our strength and durability is comparable or better than most of the similarly priced product. I wouldn't say the whole market, because the market is very broad. You get products which are 25 rupees a square feet to 250 rupees a square feet. We are priced in the lower side, around 50 to 60 rupees a square feet segment. In that price segment, we are the best in terms of a durability requirement. There is no threat of pest infestation in the product. A, because of low cellulose content in the cereal straw, and B, the binding agent that we use then creates a very strong polymer matrix, which doesn't allow any loose active cellulose to be available to any termites or pests to eat on. And of course, the affordable price points that we have on the product. The market size is an important aspect. Like I already said, there is enough agricultural waste in our country alone, or not just agricultural waste, the burnt agricultural waste. It is large enough to fulfill the entire engineered wood product market. The global market is currently about $300 billion and rising to about $450 billion in the next 7 to 10 years. In India alone, The current market is about $6 to $7 billion and rising to about $10 billion in the next few years. The competitors in this segment are the traditional brand like Century Ply, Kit Ply, Action Tesa, you can think of Green Ply. Those are the national brands which control only about 25 to 30% of the market. Then there are a lot of regional players who operate in certain districts or certain states or certain regional areas. We have a very high reliance on imported finished good in this segment as well. And there are a couple of startups who are trying to make similar products like ours and things. So the benefits that we have is we're made with agricultural waste and not wood. We have zero formaldehyde emissions. We're a negative carbon footprint product and at an affordable price point, giving all the benefits of circular and sustainable products in this segment. The opportunities for us are great in terms of we have regulatory issues, we have trade issues which are benefiting us. Trade, because increasing trade costs are there, which is making our imports more and more expensive, which is then reducing the commercial viability of products which are imported. For us, we have immense agricultural waste available throughout the year, throughout the country, and it sort of helps us overcome these structural constraints around the supply chain and the import-related products. There is a lot of awareness around sustainable products in the market right now. We are also building a narrative around how tree cutting is bad. I mean, from the climate change perspective and global warming perspective, and we need to promote a product. Everyone needs to promote a product which is then not made of trees but offers a similar functionality at a very competitive price points. There is a lot of environmental impact, and we don't even know that half of the timber that we use is coming from maybe from Africa somewhere, or from Australia somewhere, or Europe somewhere, or North America somewhere, or South America somewhere. We have no visibility around it. So that's the opaque part of the supply chain, which we are trying to bring more visibility to the customers, to our clients as well. And of course, we're looking at decentralizing our manufacturing, given the nature of the biomass that we have. We can't make a large factory because the material handling is a big challenge in straw-based industries because of the very low density of the product that we use. Our strategy is essentially we create a new category of products. We are positioning ourselves as a next generation, very scientific or science-backed R&D based developed product. There is technology and innovation coming out as a modern product as well in the market and competing with the traditional engineered wood products in the market. We have a target segments, markets which are in the tier 1 cities with our corporate customers, multinational companies, and doing green certified projects. And of course, the execution strategy that we are leveraging on is story-led marketing around the benefits that we bring, which is around farmers' income, which is around pollution created by stubble burning, and of course, the entire narrative around how the product is circular, sustainable, and responsible. Those three key parts are part of our execution strategy as well. So in a very fragmented market where no single player has a market share of more than 10%, we are trying to create a brand which will create that differentiation in the entire market, which combines, of course, performance, purpose, and scale of the product. There are many challenges in the agricultural waste to value market or the segment, I would say. There is fragmented biomass supply chains, there is seasonal and logistics heavy arrangements. So anything to do with agricultural waste has to be very hyper local. So manufacturing units or processing units have to be located close to agricultural areas or heavily cultivated districts, so that the biomass availability can be ensured within a 10 to 15 kilometer radius and it can be transported easier. Certification and farmer engagement gaps. We've tried to do a lot of engagement in Haryana. So currently our manufacturing unit is located in Haryana. It's easy in Haryana because there's a lot of focus already on waste to value in Haryana, and there's a lot of biomass banks which have opened. There's a lot of awareness, and of course, there is penalty as well for burning agricultural waste. So farmers are very keen to utilize, provide their straw at a cost which also generates income for them. One of the biggest challenges that we faced when we started is the R&D infrastructure. While there are a lot of incubators which work in the agricultural sector supply chain, there is no incubator in the country right now which has the right infrastructure to support waste to value product development. So that's something, a challenge that we face, but we've sort of overcome that with setting up or partnering with somebody who has that infrastructure. Now, opportunities are immense. India generates about 500 million metric ton. We might burn about 20-30% of it, but there is still about 500 million metric ton of waste which is available, and there is immense potential to create a lot of resources from it. We are already working on biofuels. We're working on ethanol generated from straw. It's not us, but just in the country at a summary level, there are many applications that are coming in now. 3G ethanol, 4G ethanol, they're all working as straw as a primary substrate for extracting ethanol from it. Biofuel industry, we are replacing coal-fired power plants with briquettes and pellets coming out in boilers to generate heat for steam generation. We are making engineered wood out of it. There is biochar applications that are coming, and of course there are more research and product development happening for more and more companies to utilize this agricultural waste, and there is massive amounts. Imagine that every single acre of say rice farming generates if it generates about 3-4 tons of produce or cereal produce, there's an equivalent amount of rice straw that is also generated. It's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of cultivation. I mean, 1 ton of rice that is produces 1 ton of straw. And the same happens for wheat. Same happens for any cereal crop. The weight ratio for grain to straw is almost 1-to-1. It might approximately within a 15-20% sort of margin. There is great potential for job creation in the rural areas for creating small industries which can work with straw with the right sort of products getting developed for the urban markets. And of course, there is a strong demand for circular products which can reduce a consumption of other materials or traditional materials and create products out of perennial or regenerative material here. And of course, there's a great environmental push from the government as well to start making circular economy products as well. For us particularly, we are looking at in 10 years time creating an annual impact which can reduce or avoid about 100 million metric tons of GHG emissions, saving more than 2.5 lakh, 25 lakh trees every year from getting logged, using about 40,000 metric tons of straw at every single plant that we are looking to set up, and in turn generating income which is about 20 crore rupees of annual income for our farmers. And also in the meantime, while we do this, we are strongly aligned to many SDGs, from being good health and well-being to decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities as well. We do responsible consumption and production, and of course climate action that sort of goes with it. We are already funded by the Ministry of Science and Technology. We are funded by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare through different schemes. We are incubated at some of the leading incubators in the country, including, of course, Manage, the Atal Incubation Center, the AIDA NARM. We are also a part of the BIRAC BioNest cohort here. We've been supported by JPAL right now, which is the Jameel Poverty Action Lab at MIT University, and several others. For us, in summary, what we're doing is we're solving interlinked problems around deforestation, stubble burning, air pollution, income deficits, and trade deficits as well. We're backed by the government. We have very strong unit economics that we sell a one board at about 2,000 rupees a square feet with a 25% projected EBITDA margin in the long term. We are also having great potential to generate carbon credits from a product. And the way we are looking at is we are doing modular repeatable units for licensing and co-investing as we scale up. So we're trying to create a infrastructure which is not speculative venture capital per se, but we deliver durable returns in terms of the value that we create. So straw typically is 4 to 7 rupees a square feet, depending on which time of the year and which straw you buy. It can even be 3 rupees a square feet for paddy straw at times. We create a product that 1 kilo of straw that we buy from a farmer at say 4 rupees a square feet, that generates a product which is worth 50 rupees a square feet, 50 rupees a kg. So the value addition that we've done to the straw is from 4 rupees, it becomes a 40 rupees a kg or 50 rupees a kilogram product. And along with that, we are doing a lot of other things in which we can increase that value addition is immense. It's 10x the cost of the straw. And that's the sort of value addition that we are trying to build. And of course, it's fairly sustainable in terms of the business model. There is enough demand in the market for products. Like I already said, every home, every office, every hotel, every indoor space, if there is a building, any building you see around you will have timber products. It is not limited to a tier 1 or a tier 2 city or an office building or a house building. Every single building in the world uses wood in some form or the other. And that is the scale at which we are looking at creating an impactful product which can be utilized by everybody in the world. That's the gist of what we are trying to build at Biome. I am happy to have questions. Is the questions session now, Saurabh, or will it be later?
Sir, it would be after the second speaker presentation.
Okay, so that's my presentation, introduction to our company and what we're building. I can stop the presentation now and I will wait for questions at the end of the session.
Thank you, sir, for taking us to the journey, inspiring journey of Biome Sustainable Ventures, from highlighting the multiple challenges in the sector to introducing the innovative product Biome Board. He explained its market potential, competitors, and emerging opportunities and challenges with great clarity. It was equally insightful to learn about the annual impact your startup is creating in driving sustainability. Your session was truly valuable and motivating for all of us. So the participants, if you have any questions regarding the session, you can keep in chat box and also you can raise your hands. So the questions will be taken up after the second speaker presentation. Now moving on to the next session. To introduce our second speaker for the today's session, I would like to call Monica Colia, a managed intern.
Thank you, Dr. Rahalia. Good morning, everyone. I'm Monica Kholia, a managed intern. Honored to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Mahendra Senapati, founder and managing director of Agri-Innovation, a startup committed to transforming menstrual hygiene in India through plant-based sanitary solutions that are affordable, effective, and eco-conscious. Under his leadership, Agri-Innovation has been incubated with support from leading national innovation platforms. He is also a BRAC EUA Fellow, a finalist at IIT Madras GDC, and several other national level innovation challenges, and the innovator behind award winning solutions such as zero energy cooling chambers and plant based absorbent technology. His mission is simple yet powerful: to make innovation inclusive, accessible, and sustainable, delivering dignity, health, and impact to menstruators not only in urban India but also across rural and tribal communities. With that brief introduction, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Mahendra. We look forward to your valuable insights.
Uh, this Samania, thank you. So in this presentation, I'll be mostly sharing, with the course of presentations from Manage, I have been looking that there are a lot of, in a lot of presentations, we see a lot of opportunities that are coming into play. And there are a lot of solutions as well, and there are a lot of ideas that can be taken forward. But somewhere I felt that it is important to address the problems as well as the key aspects, especially when you are trying to build a startup with a waste management category. So this is my presentation. I'll be just briefly presenting the presentation, and after that I'll be taking some time to give you a brief aspect on what are the key points to look after and where are usually the challenges faced and how to overcome that. So this I'll be just explaining that from my experience. Yes, sir. Hello. Just a brief introduction. I'm Mahendra Kalyan. So let's understand this. Uh, if you look at India's scenario, so our country is generating nearly around 500 million tons of agriculture waste annually. So that can be a paddy straw, bagaces, coconut husk, fruit peels, even fruit peels also. But if you look at the current disposal methods, these are a bit more traditional, and somewhere we do not use this post disposal methods to a much significant value, so that we can have a source of income from that aspect. So this gap is merely between, sometimes it's a lack of awareness, and sometimes it is due to a couple of points that I'll be sharing later. Yeah, next slide, please. Hello, please. Well, uh, it's not only farmers' class. It's like a trash is another entrepreneur's treasure. If you look at our before presentation, like Sir was presenting about Biome, so that was a very beautiful product that I came to see, because there are a lot of agriculture waste that has been converted into a plyboard like solution that could be used in a maximum areas. Even now, I was not aware of it, and now we came to know about this. As the same way, there are a lot of resources that can be used that can not only give you a economical benefit, but also it will reduce an environmental waste, and also it will keep resource depletion at check. Somewhere, as a vast country, being the one of the largest country, we have to understand that it becomes a mere duty to save and safeguard this planet as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, yeah, another slide. So I'll just give you a small example. See, banana pseudostem. Some of the case studies of India. So people are using banana pseudostem to manufacture textile fiber. If you could know a company like Sati is making sanitary pads out of banana fibers, and rice husk where eco bricks are maintained. And now you recently saw an example of Sir who was explaining he was making biome board out of rice husk. There are a couple of rice straw. Sorry, there are a couple of other points as well. I'll just highlight coming points. I'll be giving a brief about what we are doing. So what we usually do is we make sanitary pads out of plant fibers, especially plant fibers like water hyacinth, which is usually a problematic in case of Indians situation. So this particular water hyacinth was introduced as an ornamental plant, but due to its lack of predators, its infestation was so high that we couldn't control it. Now it has become an invasive weed. So even the government of India is trying very high to control this particular weed, but it's the rate of progression is so high that we are failing multiple of times. So what we did was we tried to isolate water hyacinth, and we are turning into a sanitary pads out of that. This is a brief about my work. You can just find it more on 91degrees.in. I'll be just sticking to the today's topic, and I'll be explaining because I think we have less time. Yes. So if you look at the opportunities of waste management is very high. Uh, the waste, whatever the wet waste, you can turn it into biogas, bio pellets, because pellets manufacturing is also increased, because now there is a government rule that only this X amount of uh, uh, bio pellets become mandatory for emission plants to use. Of course, bioethanol, and in construction like agri waste bricks, biome boards, and hemp crate. That is not in India, but in Australia, people are using hemp crate insulation boards. In textiles, we use banana fibers, pineapple fibers, hemp fibers, water hyacinth fibers, sisal fibers in manufacturing of textiles. And I feel the area that has to be looked after is packing area, because India is growing at a rapid pace, and there is much more space in this area where people can look after. Of course, there is a company making compostable plates out of sugarcane bagaces, containers. I just want to put stress on this. See, there is still an opportunity of in India, if people are planning to make bottles out of rice straw. That has already been employed in other countries as well, but there is still an opportunity in India, because there are a lot of FMCG products in India. If we can manufacture it, then that would be a great example. And of course, the food and nutraceuticals, where one of my co-founding startups is working on agriculture, is making agriculture packaging materials out of fruit peels. Of course, mushroom substrates, where paddy straw bagaces has been a major contributor of mushroom substrates. Yes, ma'am. The PPT, please. The other slide, please. Yeah, I'll just give you a brief roadmap on how to work on it. Every time there is a small notion saying that whenever we try to look after building a startup from waste, what we usually have to see, the first thing that has to be looked upon is an opportunity. Is there is enough waste that is generated in this particular in your particular locality or not? The biggest mistake we do is after we look after the waste opportunity, if the opportunity is right enough, we directly jump into making of the product. That is where somewhere a lot of times we fail as an entrepreneurs. So the next immediate step that should be after identifying that opportunity should be understanding your customer, whether there are customers for the product you make or not, or either if you are solving the biggest need of your customer through your product, or your product is acting as an intermediate for your customer. And if you could able to define your customer very right, then half of the problem is already solved. Because until and unless you define your customer segment right, because see what initially, I'll give you an example. Initially what we did was, uh, while we developed our product, we thought that every woman from 18 to 18 to 45 years old who menstruate are our customers. So that is where the biggest mistake was. We couldn't define our customer right. So if you look at the today's scenario of how we define our customer, we define our customer as a working woman who works 9 to 5 in her job, do not have time to change her pads regularly, at the same time faces issue with absorption, and also is able to pay X amount at this particular price point. So this is what how we have defined our customer. So once you understand and define your customer right, so I think half of the problem is solved. That we have completed the first step, opportunity. Second, understanding our customer. Third is you develop a small prototype. Start very small. Start a small prototype and start with the pilot projects. Even manage has opportunity, gives you an opportunity to just develop your product under AOP of RKVY-RAFTAAR scheme. So there are other schemes as well available in the country where you can just showcase your idea and just pilot produce your product and just test it. Because what happens is when you target a very small area and you succeed in that area and you start targeting a bigger area, then the chance of you getting success is way more higher than you going on a large scale at very first point. So this will give you a right idea that whether the problem is in the product, or whether the problem is in the distribution, or whether the product is really needed in the market or not. Yes, ma'am. Next slide, please. So yeah, as I was saying you, there are a lot of funding opportunities, especially when you're trying to develop. Recently, we had MSME Idea Hackathon. So BIRAC is giving you funds. Whenever you're in a college, apply for BIRAC fellowship where you get a grant of 2.5 lakhs. If you are completed your masters, apply for postdoctorate fellowship that BIRAC gives you. So it gives you a standpoint and gives you a area to develop your product and showcase your product to different panels members, where you can review your product time and again, so that the chance of you failing is very less. So yeah, of course, if you have a product, you can scale using PM EGP scheme. So there are a lot of opportunities where even there are mentoring sessions in BIRAC where you in manage where you are taught with different funding schemes, etc. I'll not be covering much here. Next slide, please, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. So this is about a brief about my PPT. I'll be just saying the key checkpoints where we have to look after while you are designing, uh, you know, uh, a startup, especially where you are from waste to wealth. So especially what happens when you're designing a startup that a waste related startup is, uh, we always we always look for an opportunity that, no, for example, there is an opportunity, a waste can be turned into a product. But where we make mistake especially is, what is the cost of turning that product into a what is the cost of turning that particular waste into a complete product. So usually what happens is, we think that this particular waste can be generated in the product. We jump directly into making of a product and selling into the market. That is where we face a problem. So usually what happens is, the raw material or the waste generated here and the product that you want to build, and the number of steps involved in between the product. So I mean, this particular journey, uh, you know tests you in different ways. It eats your labor. It gives you an a false sense of perception that product won't work, because the cost involved in the processing of this product is way more higher, that whenever you try to make a final product and you try to sell in the market, the cost of your final product eventually increases, where we do not have this in mind. So when we try to compete with the product that's already available in the market, the product is not marketable, because at the end of the day, what customer wants is an alternative product to their product. If you're making an alternative product in a better way and more sustainable way, better and more efficient way, then probably your product might work. Otherwise, there is a problem. So that is the first aspect you have to look after. And look after the second aspect, is your product yielding a better value than the so-called products in the market? Because customer doesn't, customer may purchase your product for once because that's sustainable, but that's not always the case. So, for once, that is a pulse buying. For the second time or third time, people will just, blindfoldedly think for their benefits. Just look after that. If you really want to scale in a big market, then probably you have to look after the value that your product is delivering. That is the second one. Third, whenever you're trying to make something out of agriculture waste, look after the perishability. So usually what happens is agriculture waste, you have to discard it way more faster. Look for, the density of the product, because agriculture waste is usually very less dense. So you have a problem in transportation, logistics, etc. So that is where you have to look after. And I'll tell you the other example as well. There is a company that's manufacturing clothes of plant fabrics out of, um, sisal fiber, plant fiber, banana fibers, etc. But the cost eventually has rose to 8 times to the normal jeans that are available in the market. If the jean that's produced using cotton is X amount, the jeans that is produced by making of plant fibers will, has been risen to 8x. So probably that is how usually the startup fails. So these are but couple of aspects that you have to look after while you're building a startup from waste. And I'll tell you, India is a growing economy, and there are a number of benefits adhering to this waste economy. So, if you could really understand and you could make use of it, then probably we can build a very big market, especially in case of our country. I think that's from my side. If there is anything doubt, you can put me on a chat box, or you can just mail me. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Over to
thank
you.
you, Mahendra Kalyan sir, for such an informative session on waste to wealth. It was really truly inspiring to learn about a few remarkable case studies and your innovative startups, especially how water hyacinth is being utilized to make sanitary pads. And you also highlighted the various opportunities in this sector, which gives us fresh perspectives on sustainable solution. Thank you for sharing knowledge. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. So the participants, if you have any questions regarding the session, you can keep in chat box and also you can raise your hands. So the both speakers are available. Now we will take up the questions. Hope Sumit sir also available. Sumit sir?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, okay, sir. Yeah. So there is a question from Jeevan Rao.
Yes.
It's asking why state government is not implementing regulated market with high market price. I think,
High market price of what?
yeah, this question is not clear. Kaljivan Rao, you can raise your hand, or otherwise you can put again your question in the chat box. Be clear. Yeah. So Vishwatej asking what challenges you faced while going engagement in rural area, locals into your hyper local model, and how.
So for us, we've engaged with a contract manufacturing facility in Haryana. They already make some product with agricultural waste. They make cardboard with wheat straw based board, which is very common in Haryana, Punjab areas, to make cardboard from a pulp industry. So we sort of partnered with them. Now they have a very strong network. They have been in the industry for 20, 30 years. We've used their existing infrastructure to create awareness around our product, to get more sourcing, to get efficiently sourcing done efficiently from the farmers. Now, what we engage with is our farmers' direct engagement is a little limited, but we engage with the aggregators. So, because there's a lot of equipment which is required for collection, transport, and storage of agricultural waste. So, from tractors and balers to trolleys, and of course, the requirement being every day, you don't require hundreds of tons of material. You work at about 15, 20 tons on a daily basis, and the storage is a problem. So, an aggregator is the person who buys the straw or collects the straw from the farm. They have the balers, they have the tractors and the trolleys. So they take it to their stockyard, and we buy from them directly. So that's where it sort of becomes. So our engagement primarily becomes with the aggregators right now, who are also rural entrepreneurs, who are nothing but there are several FPOs as well in Haryana which do biofuel banks as a potential business opportunity for FPOs as well. So they do it. So they are also rural entrepreneurs. So we engage with the community at that level.
Thank you for asking something related to Biomi board. Something that is burnt traditionally is turned into board. Is this board made fireproof, and how? And what is the cost of this management?
So for us, see, there are two aspects to it. When you use paddy straw, paddy straw has inherent silica in it. I think that's one of the biggest challenges for all researchers who work with paddy straw volatilization, that there's about 15 to 20% silica in the stem structure or the straw structure that is there. Now, for us, that becomes a valuable component of the straw, because a silica or sand, or it's a silica oxide, is what we use for traditionally for fire exhaustion. In the earlier days, we used to have buckets of sand as a fire extinguishing station. Now, this layer of silica inside the straw structure creates a charring layer. We also add other additives to the product manufacturing sector. When we do the product manufacturing, we add a additional component, which enhances the fire resistance of the board. So there are two ways. One with the inherent silica in the paddy straw, and then we also add a additional component which improves the fire resistance.
Yeah, thank you, sir. There is a question to Mahendra Kalyan, sir, from Srija. So water hyacinth plant is considered as a weed right now. We might be using it as a value-added product, but over a decade, the weed can go down. So how will the company sustain in such kind of situation?
Yeah, right question. So, Srija, the thing is, if you know water hyacinth, the rate at which the water hyacinth propagates is really very fast. I mean, for example, the rate is 100 tons of water hyacinth can become 200 tons within a month. And the rate of infestation in India has been so big that only to clear, I mean, for the amount of production that we are doing right now, only to clear water hyacinth in 100 ponds, it would take around 10 years for us to completely clear this water hyacinth from it. And I'll give you another aspect as well. Since there are no predators of water hyacinth till date, because it was not from India and this crop was from outside, clearing of water hyacinth completely is completely, I mean, it's not possible for us. If you look at wherever you go, and if you are in a polluted area, the chance of water hyacinth growth is way more higher, because water hyacinth has the capacity to grow rapidly in area of high metal toxication or heavy metal toxication. So even as a country citizen, we want the water hyacinth to clearly end up. That would be a great. If it's okay if we don't get a value-added product, but that's not going to happen. Just because that's a very big problem, we thought that it could be a solution. I'll tell you, even if our startup is only solving 0.0000001% of water hyacinth, maybe, or very less than that, because the amount of water hyacinth production is so high that even if 100 startups like us come, then probably we are not able to solve this problem. I mean, the infestation has been grown to the very high extent. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So there is a question very common to the both panel members. That is, can anyone in the panel mention some of the opportunities in wealth from waste at FPO level?
I'm sorry.
Micro paddy and pulses.
At FPO's level, he is asking some of the opportunities in these sectors, mainly crop paddy.
So for FPOs, I think there are multiple opportunities in the biofuel sectors. There's high subsidy available in the pellet and the briquette industry. You can set up if your paddy store is available, and that can then be sold to the industrial houses, industries which use boilers for steam generation in the local regions. Now, the pellet industry typically, you have a 21 lakh rupees per ton of subsidy as well from MNRE on the pellet manufacturing units. So that is a decently profitable business for FPOs to conduct. And with FPOs, you can get straw at a cheaper price if you have a large enough community. And if the FPO can set up, you can actually set up a FPO-based briquette manufacturing unit or a pellet manufacturing unit from straw. It is very low in terms of technology needs. It's very basic. There are just 3-4 equipment which are required, which are available off the shelf from multiple companies. You can buy low domestic Indian equipment, you can buy imported equipment, and it runs on a autopilot mode. And you get a large amount of subsidy as well from the government. So that's a fairly decent model. But the only challenge there is you have to be in a geography where there is sufficient industry available to take the pellets. If you are close to a thermal power plant, NTPC has a mandate now to blend about 7 to 8% of coal to be replaced by pellets, biofuel pellets. That is a very strong segment if you are anywhere close to a NTPC power plant, and almost every single power plant run by NTPC in the country uses pellet as a replacement or a substitute fuel in the coal-fired power plants as well. So that's a very high, that's a very strong segment for anybody to get started with. It's the most basic way to valorize paddy straw into a useful product is to use as biofuels.
Okay, sir. So Mohammed Usman has raised the hand. Kindly unmute Mohammed Usman. I think he want to talk with the speaker. Usman, are you there? Mohammed Usman? Okay, I think he is not available. So Pravidan, are you there? Pravidan? Pravidan?
Hello.
Ashok, are you there?
Hello. I'm here.
Yeah, please go ahead, Pravidan. Yes, you're audible. Kindly speak little bit loud.
Okay. My question to Sumit sir, as I message.
I know some network problem, I think, from his side. Okay, I think we'll take up a few more questions. So this Mohammed Usman is asking. So this is Mohammed Usman from Tamil Nadu, Vellore. As I'm trading with cashew husk and wanted to complete R&D with cashew husk in order to penetrate with different segment, kindly guide us. Kalyan sir, you got the question? You're kindly mute, sir. You're in mute mode. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, R&D with cashews in order to penetrate. So, Mohammed, be specific on what you're trying to exactly do with cashew husk. I mean, what I just want to say is, what are the products you are trying to build, or is there any intermediate product from cashews that you have already made, or what aspect you are looking after? I just need that information.
Yeah. Mohammed Usman, kindly keep your question clear. And then Sharath Pant is asking, we need to explore more options for utilizing straw bundles as farmers are currently receiving very low prices for them. What are your thoughts on this? She's asking about straw bundles.
So for straw bundles, I think right now, if you go to Haryana or Punjab, paddy straw in the season, in the harvest season in October, November, you can buy for about 2.5 rupees a kg, 2 to 2.5 rupees a kg. Now, the cost is not the straw cost. The cost there is the cost of bundling it, the cost of infrastructure, of the tractor, of the baler, of the transportation that somebody has to incur. Because it is loose, because it is also not very high in density, the transportation costs are high. That's why it has to be hyper local. Within 5-10 kilometers, you have to source it. That is the way the costing works. The costing is primarily around the transportation of the straw over the distance that you're traveling in for this. That's why hyperlocal is very, very important whenever you're looking at sourcing straw or doing anything with straw. It has to be done within a 5-10 kilometer radius.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So Bhuvaneshwar has
My
raised the hand. We shall unmute him. Bhuvaneshwar, kindly go ahead with your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, sir. I am Boneshwar. I have an idea like we want to make a cutleries from agriculture residuals like paddy straw, wheat straw. So is this idea is a profitable business or should we go with the straw business?
Sir, I think when you look at this disposable cutlery items, I think there is a lot of demand for it, but there are also a lot of players in the market already. You get a lot of this industry is already quite active. A lot of MSMEs, a lot of micro industries are available in this sector. Now the big problem with straw, I mean, and not with straw though, but they are mostly with banana leaves or leafy residuals. The challenge with straw is that you have to make a pulp out of it and then reconstitute it in the form of a plate or a cutlery. The biggest challenge there is for pulping it, you have to do a chemical treatment. You have to expose the straw fibers through a chemical treatment and a digestion process. And CPCB no longer gives a approval for these sort of industries because there's a very highly sort of detrimental liquor that is generated from this pulping process, which is called black liquor in general paper and pulp industry. This black liquor is very high in lignin and other impurities and chemicals there, which cannot be disposed of in any water stream because of high BOD content of this effluent. Now, because the market is so price sensitive in India, if you were to put a effluent treatment plant, the product doesn't become economically viable. So that is a big challenge in the cutlery industry. If you can work out a better way of doing it without effluent, and you can convince CPCB to set up a new plant, even for the paper and pulp industry, which is a massive industry, new approvals from CPCB to set up a new plant are very difficult to get if there is not sufficient evidence that you will have a proper effluent treatment system available.
Thank you, sir. So there is a question to Kalyan, sir. So what is the cost of per pad which you are making using water hyacinth? Kalyan, sir? Kalyan, sir, are you there? Okay. I'll take up one more question. So Kandula Akash has raised the hand. I'll unmute Kandula Akash. Kandula Akash, please go ahead. Akash, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, Akash.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, Akash, please go ahead. Okay. So one more.
Hello, sir. Can I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Sir,
Composting
after harvesting the cotton balls from the cotton crop,
fertilizer production.
we can get so huge amount of cotton stick from cotton crop. Can
Pays
we
too
have
well for farmers.
any income
Yeah,
from that crop?
please. Yeah, you're audible.
Sir,
Sir.
hello.
Yes. Yes, sir.
After harvesting the cotton from the cotton crop, we get so much amount of the cotton stick. which the
Correct.
farmers are burning in the fields where it affect on the next crop. Can we
Correct.
make any income from that cotton stick after the harvest?
You can make income from, so the product that we make, the engineered wood, we are agnostic of the raw material that is available. We have done with paddy straw, we've made with wheat straw, we've made with sugarcane bagasse, we have done with millet as well, millet straw as well. And we can make it with cotton stock as well. But we are confident, but right now we are only focusing on cereal straw. We're trying to establish that product in the market, but effectively we can make engineered wood out of cotton stock as well. It works in a similar way as poplar tree or eucalyptus tree, which is otherwise used for making MDF in the country right now.
Okay, sir. Sir, in my research, I found that we can make biochar from it. Can it is useful to crops, or using of biochar in the field, it get any effect on the crop?
So biochar is a very, very effective way. It is scientifically proven that biochar can be a very, very effective way of soil amendment, soil improvement, nutrient improvement, wood reduction in water consumption for crops. However, there is a adoption challenge in biochar. There is effective research and lab-based research which says biochar is a very, very effective way of improving productivity, improving the soil health, and of course, capturing carbon, otherwise which will be burnt. But there are many challenges in selling it. You can't. There are no buyers for biochar. So biochar typically, once you make biochar, it will come at about 8 to 10 rupees per kg to be sold to somebody. Now, if for a farm of say 1 acre farm is there, if you're selling biochar which may be in 200 kgs, that's a lot of cost for a farmer to consider. So that way, it is difficult to sell biochar in the market right now. And for a product which is not fully established, which is not which has not been really tested in actual life. So once it becomes a mainstream product, yes, there will be a lot of potential for it. But currently at this stage, the adoption challenges of early stage product without a long-term benefit. See, with every product that you come to the market, the biggest challenge will be everybody will ask, okay, it will not show you result for 2 years. Right? If you take a test farm of 2 acres or 5 acres and you have a side by side, you have a control farm and you have a biochar farm and you're doing the same, it's not proven that the yield will improve by 20-30% in real scenario. And what will be the impact on soil in say 10 years time? You may get a benefit in 3 to 4 years time, but there is always a skepticism or a question mark or a doubt in the farmer's mind. I may put it now, but what will happen to my soil in 10 years time or 15 years time? Will the fertility improve or will it reduce? So while there is a lot of potential, it is even PUSA is now promoting using biochar in a lot of applications, but the skepticism or the doubt is there in the mind of the farmers whether to use it or not. We're saying it can substitute fertilizers, it can improve nutrient holding capacity, reduction in water consumption in the farms, but still there is a lot of skepticism or doubtful questions in the farmer's mind.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So there is a question. Seaweed, sir, shall I take up that question? So Ankush Das is asking, what are the product of Gracelaria edulis species seaweed which have demand in market? Is it profitable for startup on this sector?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kalyan, sir.
Yeah. See, yeah. Am I audible now? Right.
Yes, sir. You're audible. Please go ahead.
So, see, there are a couple of startups that are using seaweeds to make plastics, bioplastics, and some of the startups are making, nutrition for adults. One of my, co-founder friends is making nutrition from seaweeds. And there are a couple of startups. Someone is making, a fuel for startups. So there are different aspects of using the seaweeds, especially, and that's a good venture. But the problem usually lies extraction of the seaweed and converting into a fully usable resource. that is where these startups face problems. Since nearly you can observe one of my startups, one of my nearby incubation startup who was working on this particular aspect. I could tell you because washing of that particular weed and converting into a resource, and at the same time extraction of right weed, because you may get a seaweed, but that may not be to your particular dimension, or that may not we be times you need to get seaweed from deep ocean areas. So that will be a pretty difficult task, and it depends on what is the value of your product you are trying to build. If the product has a higher value, then of course you can consider the cost of production bit high. But if you are looking for a large middle class market, then you have to look after it. This is from my side.
Yeah. Thank you, Kalyan sir, for sharing. So yeah, it's already 12 o'clock. We need to conclude the session. So participant, thank you for all your questions. Still, if you have any questions regarding the sessions, the contact details of the speakers are shared in the chat box. You can contact them. And if you miss any part of this today's webinar, and if you still you want to rewatch this today's webinar, the YouTube link for the webinar is given in the chat box. You can register for it. And to stay updated on the upcoming events and program and exciting opportunities from the Manage, be sure to follow us on our social media. Along with this, we have some exciting news. We are proud to announce the launch of a Managed Fisheries Startup Innovation Hub. So this is our brand new incubation center dedicated exclusively to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in the fisheries sector. So we are opening doors to the offering internship and also the various programs. So applications for the Managed Aqua Eureka 2025, the National Level Aqua Innovation Challenge, is organized by the Managed Fishery and Innovation Startup Hub is open. So the registration link is given in the chat box, and the last date for the application is 15th November. So before concluding the session, I would like to thank both the speakers, Sumit sir and the Mahendra Kalyan sir, for sharing your knowledge with us. And thank you for patiently answering all the questions. So a heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. Saravanan Raj sir, whose visionary leadership and unwavering support have made instrumental in making this 254-week webinar journey possible. My thanks also go to the entire Mahendra team for our efforts in organizing the today's webinar. Finally, don't forget to share your feedback regarding this today's session, and also do register for the upcoming webinar. See you next week with another exciting topic. Until then, take care. Thank you, Sumit sir and the Mahendra Kalyan sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a
sir.
good day,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am. Thank you. It was a pleasure
Thank you, sir.
joining.
Thank you. Yes, sir, it's our pleasure. And thank you all participants.